Good morning, everyone. World Bride Magazine, Meredith Leon McCormick here with the legendary guru, Mr. Preston Bailey. We are in his studio right now. He has taken the time out of his busy schedule, traveling back and forth around the world to answer a couple of questions for us and inspire you. Preston Bailey, good morning.
Good morning, my dear.
How are
you?
you?
And welcome to New York.
It's such an honor to be with you.
Thank you, my dear. Thank
So
you.
please, for the audience that may have been living under a rock that doesn't know who you are, give us a brief history of who you are.
Yes, my name is Preston. I am an event designer, and that means that as far as any wedding or any event, what I do, I create all of the beautiful visuals for it. Mm-hmm. And basically, that's what I do for a living, which is like the best job ever.
The best job ever. So now, who inspires you? Do you, when somebody hires you, does the couple or the production company that hired you inspires you, or do they hire you based on your brilliance?
Well, I think any event is about inspiration from two places. Mm-hmm. One of them from within, and most of the inspiration that I get come from nature. Originally, I'm from Panama with beautiful foliage and beautiful nature. And the other, and I think the biggest source of my inspiration comes from my clients.
Wow, wonderful.
I've always been fortunate to work with clients that always have a dream. Mm-hmm. And my job is basically to take that dream and bringing it to reality. And it's a back and forth. You know, I need to forget who I am mm-hmm. and get into my client's head mm-hmm. and understand what their dreams are, mm-hmm. and I'm just an interpreter.
Wow, that's great. So now the inspiration comes from both sides, but how do you put your foot down and when it gets out of control, or how do you zone in with the client and get them to understand that you need certain boundaries and to execute something clearly?
You know, I think I should stop calling myself an event designer and call myself a therapist. Which is a huge part of this job, mm-hmm. in understanding your client, mm-hmm. Knowing what they are about, mm-hmm. leaving my ego behind, mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
And at all time understanding that we are in a service industry. It's not about us,
right?
It's about them. And I think once we come from that point of view, mm-hmm. it's always a give and take, and it's always about being present to their moments of hysteria, which has happened sometimes,
of course.
And understand that it's all part of our job.
Because I think what we do is we come to you for the perfection we can't deliver ourselves, and then we expect it from you.
I think they come to me for two reasons. One of them is to bring this dream that, as you know, mm-hmm. a lot of it is production. Mm-hmm. And and one of the things that after working in this business for 40 years, I'm still learning how to produce a job effectively.
Wow.
And I'm humbled by that in a way, because each job that we do, the client is seeing it for the first time, but so are we.
Wow,
so
nice way of putting it.
In order to create something that is new and different and exciting, it takes a lot of production and a lot of back and forth.
So you said something really key for me, new and fresh. How do you stay new, fresh, and relevant in this ever-changing industry?
I take a lot of drugs. Okay. That is a joke, folks. Joking. I am sober. I don't drink. I don't take alcohol.
You don't have time to.
A little bit of a joke here. I try to remain relevant. Mm-hmm. I try to go to all of the fashion shows, mm-hmm. not only bridal fashion shows, but every single mm-hmm. possibility of being inspired by being to museums, fashions, Broadway, and in New York City that has some of the most exciting mm-hmm. plays. Mm-hmm. So I think it's a matter of like feeding my, let's say, how should I put it, like feeding my creativity. Mm-hmm. And whenever I meet with a client, I think we have that background and all of that's come out in order to try to keep me relevant.
Wow. And that shouldn't be too hard because you're so inspirational to so many people. Like we had a group of 26 French delegates that came from France. We had a young lady that heard about the conference from Dubai. She went, Rima, she asked us for an invitation. We sent her an invitation. She took the invitation to get the visa, got the visa at 7 a.m., booked her flight at 9, and was on a flight at 10. So when people see someone that they're passionate about, they want to jump and run.
Right.
So how do you, what is one bit of advice that you want to give to young, inspiring people in business? What is that thing?
I think I have several advice. One of them is that this business has grown and has changed. We were talking about this earlier. This is a serious business. And like any other business, it should be taken accordingly. So the first step, and that's one of the reasons that I started my PV Protege program and our PV Live, is education. Like anything else, you have to educate yourself. The second advice that I have is that do not expect for it to happen overnight. It's like any other business. You have to put in the effort and you have to put in the time, and eventually it will happen. And thirdly, you have to have faith. You just have to have faith and believe that whatever it takes, it's going to happen for you.
Absolutely.
So those are the three wisdoms that I've learned in the 40 years that I've been in business.
It's beautiful. It's simple. It's precise, and it's to the point that's going to lead us through this life.
Right.
So now, tell us about the PV program, please.
First of all, I'm so passionate about the PV Protege and now the PV Live. 10 years ago, I had this idea that it was time to give back to the industry. And I've had so many new people that have written me and said, Preston, we don't know how to do this. So I started the PV Protege program, and with my schedule, that consisted of having 30 or 40 people that I invited them to my office or to other locations. And for 3 days, we did nothing more than give them information. For 3 days, I proceeded to be open and said, this is what I've learned, and I don't want you to make the same mistakes. So the PV Protege program grew into PV Live. I had the PV Live in August for 150 students, and it was a huge success.
It sure is. 30 was a huge success.
Yes, but this one, we found a wonderful location, the Legacy Castle, and we're having another one this coming January, and we are so excited about it. We have a line up, and what I've done, I called in favors from all of my expert planner friends, and designer friends, and production friends. So it's not only me, they are getting the best of the industry. I even had a gentleman by the name of Mohammed from the Middle East.
That's amazing.
Le Maraj is the name of his company that came. So as I said, it's all about education. And PV Live, I've turned, I think, to one of the places that you could get as much information as you want in 3 days.
In 3 days?
In 3 days.
So they're spending 3 days with Preston Bailey, not your assistant, Preston Bailey.
The answer is yes.
3 days, guys. You have him to yourself. So if I was you, I would start booking my classes now. We're going to leave you the information so you can contact Alejandra. Just get her. Book. So last question for you. What would you tell a bride looking to hire a wedding event planner? What would you tell her she should be focused on?
First of all, Instagram. I mean, I think in a way it's a blessing and also it's a curse because, you know, everyone, you have so many different images and they go on Instagram, and in the old days, they bought the magazines with the pages. Now they can create this history of what they like and what they don't like on Instagram. The second step that I will tell them is to educate themselves on pricing. Unfortunately, and I'm sure all of you will agree with me, people do not have a clue of what
Absolutely
things cost.
Nothing.
They come with these amazing images and they want it all.
For nothing.
Not for nothing, but they're not realistic about what it is. They're not realistic. So, the first step I would tell any bride, this is your day. We as planners and as designers want to make your dream reality, but please be cautious in what things actually cost. That's my advice to all the
That's
brides.
the best advice for everybody that's in business and hiring a professional that wants to be a professional, because I think there's a disconnect with that, and I think that's where your program is going to come in very handy for people that are looking to you for
Right.
inspiration in business. So can you tell us when is the next book coming out? I'm putting you on the spot.
Oh my,
Tell us first. We want to know first. What Bride Magazine wants to know first.
First of all, it's really been a struggle because I have this idea of creating this book of biggest mistakes. And every time that I mention it, everyone gets very excited about it.
I love it.
But just finding the time to do it has been a little bit of a struggle. But it's coming. Just hang in there.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Preston Bailey. It is an honor. It is an honor.
Thank you so much. And again, thank you for being patient. I know that
I love you.
we have tried to get together with my schedule, but you hung in there.
I love you. I don't know what else to say. I'll get angry for you. I want Preston Bailey at any cost.
And I'm so glad we got to get that. So
Yes.
thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. So, guys, I'm going to tell you this. With Preston's permission, we are going to start running all of his PB program classes, videos that he's doing the call out, so you will know when his classes are happening. I want you to take them, and with proper planning, we are going to try to take Preston Bailey around the world, from Dubai, France, Egypt, Colombia, Morocco, because everyone deserves to have a bit of Preston Bailey in their lives. Until then, à tout à l'heure.
I love this woman. Bye.